Okay. Let's see if you can hear me. It's a little bit quiet, I think, on the audio. I've got my baking set up. I'm going to be making Montreal bagels. So can you hear me okay? You can hear my bowls pretty well. That's for sure. Okay. So I guess I'll wait a little bit, get my setup, see who's going to be joining in. This is the first time streaming a baking stream, so not sure how well it's going to go, but we will see. Alright, I'm going to start by making the main base of the bagels. I'm going to do it in this bowl. So the first thing I want to do is get my yeast into warm water. So I'm going to start with 1.5 cups of warm water. I'm going to get an actual water measuring cup. Here we go. So for the water, you want to make sure it is around 110 degrees Fahrenheit. So I usually just use my tap water because I have really good tap water in where I live. You can also just microwave it, but you gotta just wait until the water gets nice and warm so it feels nice on your hand but doesn't burn. And I want to get it so that the meniscus of the water is at the 1.5 mark, not the full amount. So the meniscus is just, you know, the upper rim. Hey little Grammy, I'm making bagels today. I'm setting up. I have a little thing. Hey dupes, how are you doing? I have set up bagels. So I've got my warm water and I've got my bowl. I'm going to put 1/4 cup of sugar into my bowl. So dupes, these are Montreal style bagels. They are slightly different from New York style. They're going to be boiled in a sugar water at the end. Amicable Charizard. Oh, hang on 1 second, guys. Alright, Newt has informed me that I have 2 chat overlays going on. If that bothers you, I can try to fix it. I don't know how to fix it so much. Yeah, Charizard, I actually got this awesome, I can change the color of the upper one and make it super awesome. Baking party! Baking party! Yes, the most important feature is that you can turn on a baking party when you get when you're ready for the baking party. Alright, so I like to mix my sugar in the bottom and then I will add in my 10 grams of active yeast, so I need to weigh that out. Where did my scale go? My scale! It's bright green. Have you seen it?
No.
be hard without my scale.
It seems to be over here.
I guess I'm just scaling up the difficulty without a scale. Ah, I found it. Scale. Sorry, scaling up the difficulty. 1 part bug and 1 part snack. Bug snacks. All right. I'm really bad at songs dupes. All right, this is my first baking stream, so I don't really know where things are, but I am gonna figure it out. We will get there. So, I like to do weight. Oh, and hi Leo. Nice to see you around. I'm doing 10 grams of yeast, and because yeast, I want it to bloom in the warm water. So I am going to mix it in with my sugar in my bowl. And then I will add in my warm water. Uber! So I'm doing the Montreal bagel style, and I'm gonna make mini. So basically, the bagels are going to be slightly smaller than New York style. They have a bigger hole in the middle. And they are boiled in a sweet water to give them kind of like a thicker crust on the outside. And then I just want to leave this to bloom for a few minutes. So it can stay right here. Bug snacks. All right, so while that is waiting to bloom, I'm gonna put together the rest of what I'm doing. So I will just use a little bowl and pre-weigh everything. I'll use, yeah, this one will work. All right, let's see. So because this is a Canadian recipe, we're gonna need maple syrup. We're gonna need salt, egg, oil, and flour. I posted the recipe onto my Twitter, which I just made, so there's literally only one post. I guess I can show you guys the recipe that I'm following. It's quite well handwritten. Beautiful handwriting. Only the most classy of recipes. But it's just a traditional Montreal bagel recipe. So while the yeast blooms, I'm just going to weigh out my flour, and then the rest is just oil, egg, maple syrup, and salt. I'll mix it all together and knead it, and the most important part... Oh, thanks. Thanks, Newt. Yeah, dupes. I saw your channel, dupes, and then I was like, I can do that. I can make a Twitter. So I have bread flour. Bread flour is slightly better for if you're making a recipe that has a lot of gluten in it. Ah, Uber and Dupes, thanks for the follow on Twitter. Whichever one of you got there first is number 1, first follower. And Ants, thank you for the follow. All right, so like I was saying, bread flour just, I'm not sure exactly what the difference is, but it is better for high gluten recipes. And since I want these bagels to stick together well, I want to really make sure the gluten is good and activated there. So once the bagels are done, it's time to roll them out. Last time I made everything bagels, and the onion and garlic was a little strong. I know everyone's here, Ants and Uber and Dupes. So awesome having you guys around. You guys are super supportive. Friends of Newt, friends of Lil Hand, Bacon with the Doctor. And you know, if this goes well, I'll bake all sorts of things. See what I can show. I really want to do the Great Canadian Bake Show. So I'm trying to do the recipes that they've done. So this is actually a recipe from the first season of the Great Canadian Baking Show. And it's pretty easy. It was the first episode of it was the second episode of the first season. So it's the type of recipe that most people should be able to do in their home. It's not the super complicated ones, yes. Yeah, Uber and Dupes are both streamer, and so is Amps. Uber just did a really cool spaghetti stream, which is what motivated me to get set up to do a baking stream. Alright, so I have 7 grams of flour, of my high gluten bread flour, but if you just use regular flour, it's not going to go bad. No, Uber did a spaghetti stream, Leo. Although I'm sure Dupes could do it. You can see that my yeast is starting to bloom. So I'll let it sit a little bit longer. I got my flour though, and I'm going to do 1 egg. Instant follow Uber. Uber did a really cool spaghetti. So he made like this really nice meat sauce with some oven roasted vegetables. Actually, I didn't notice what he used to thicken it, but it looked really good. Looked real nice. So, now that my yeast is bloomed, I'm just going to throw an egg in there. Usually I'm a little careful to not get shells in. But you don't have to be, but I've cracked so many eggs, I'm usually good. Yeah, Uber made like this really cool, really nice spaghetti. Oh yeah, so on my stovetop I have a big old pot ready. The traditional recipe is actually with honey. So I have liquid honey, super cheap, because I'm just sticking it in a pot of boiling water. But I also have the classic Canadian honey. So in Canada they do creamed honey, so that it never crystallizes, but it's very, very sweet. Oh, you emulsified pasta water in Bain Marie. The last thing I emulsified was I was making a Italian cake, and I needed to emulsify butter with oil in order to get like the nice thick creamy top. I have a little emulsifier and I just don't use it enough. Let's see. So I've got my yeast, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, because this is a Canadian bagel recipe. And yeah, I use obviously my jug of maple syrup. This isn't even the biggest size they sell. They really go a little overboard with their maple syrup here. Emulsification is the dark magic of cooking. It just it makes such a different texture. Like just emulsifying butter and oil and a little cream. It is crazy. So one of the cool things about making bagels is you can actually watch the texture change. Alright. So the last thing to add is 2 teaspoons salt. So one thing about adding salt to your bread recipes is you don't want to add it too quickly, because if it's too salty, so when I put in the sugar and the water, if I put salt in there, I'd run the risk of it killing off my yeast. The yeast can't grow when it's too salty, They'll all the water will go out of them because of the ion exchange. So all your water will come out and then they will all die. Terrible deaths. So let's not do that to our yeast. So I'm just going to mix in the egg. Hopefully that's not too loud. I can move it a little farther back. that's just to get the egg in and going, because I'm going to knead by hand. All right. So once I get my dough ready, it needs to rest for 10 minutes. ASMR. Thanks, dupes. So I'm going to do about a couple 100 grams at a time. There we go. All right. So I'm just sort of mixing it in like a little volcano. And actually, so if you use like a, instead of using bread flour, if you used a pastry flour, you would actually need to do a different ratio. So the pastry flour, you tend to need more of it than the bread flour. Doing cooking, I'm not sure what exactly, ASMR, as long as you're just using it to relax, is fine, Uber. Newt is actually working out right now. He's on a bicycle right now in the corner, just sort of biking. Oh, hey, Marvel. I know, I got, I felt very ashamed at Best Buy. I bought an Instagrammer setup. It's got like a ring light and it holds the camera, and I feel like they judged me for buying the Instagram one. But in my defense, it was on sale. So now I have a fancy Instagram setup. Don't have an Instagram account though, so they should be jealous. Those poor Best Buy workers. I know, aren't these amazing? I actually got these as a wedding present from a good family friend, and they are the best bowls. It's a 5-bowl set, and they have lids, and the biggest one actually has a little cutter in it. So once the bagels are done, I'm going to feed them to Newt, and then I'll take all the leftovers to my work. Everyone at my work likes to eat. I will need to make a Dr. Little Hand Instagram to post all my pictures. So with the Great British Baking Show, they want a lot of proof that you can bake more than just like cupcakes and cookies. So you have to show them like your portfolio. Yeah, everyone at my work loves beer. They're obsessed with beer, which is kind of weird. So I need to knead for at least 10 minutes. This is a little dry, so I could add a little water to it, but I'm probably just going to add maple syrup to it because I like maple syrup. But once you get it going, the texture should change of the dough. Oh, you mean like what am I going to finish it off with? Okay, well, I am going to roll it in a sea salt and rosemary, and that'll be the finished bagel. And then I bought I went to a fancy bakery store yesterday, and I got a lot of things, probably too many, but I bought a egg ring. So I'm gonna make an egg. Basically, you crack the egg in the egg ring, and you go let it cook, and it's all nice and round as though it's going to go on an egg muffin. So I'm going to stick that on half of my bagel, and then I'm going to stick an avocado on top of that, and then I might make like an aioli or something to go on top. So it'll be a nice egg and avocado bagel sandwich, and I will make that for Newt for the next few mornings. He'll have that. And then I do have some smoked salmon in the fridge, so I could also go with a bagel and wok approach. That's what I tend to like. He doesn't like them as much. Exactly. Aioli, avocado, and egg. So I've almost got all of the flour in here. It's a little dry. I am going to add a little maple syrup to it because you can never have too much maple syrup. I'm pretty sure that's the rule. If there's not enough moisture, add maple syrup. And Canadian maple syrup. Next time I'll have to buy a bigger than 1 liter jug. Actually, they sell like 2 liter jugs. So I should up my maple syrup. There we go. Now it's getting there. So you can't just like follow a recipe directly because it depends on the humidity, the type of flour you have, whether it's red flour or not. But it should be sticking like it is now. That's more the dough you want. And as soon as it's done picking up enough form, I will put it onto the prepared surface to actually knead. Alright. There we go. See, it was sticking, pulling up everything. No real flour left. So, this is my dough. It's nice and sticky. You can see all the gluten. So, when you're kneading by hand, it's this kind of cool, like, take it, fold it into thirds, and you punch it forward. And this isn't quite gluten-y enough. It'll get better at it as it gets more developed. It's kind of a workout. But you should be able to see the texture of the dough change. Oh, I guess I can show you the dough right now. So this is the very sticky texture. So I'm going to work it until it becomes very soft and smooth. And that's how I know it's ready to rest for 10 minutes. And once it's resting, I will start the water, get it boiling, put some honey in it, and then I will turn on my oven, which hopefully won't smoke too much. I was making a pizza on last week. I made a really good pizza, but I used fresh mozzarella and there was too much liquid in it, and it leaked over my pan and burned on the bottom of my oven. Alright, so now you can see the texture has changed a little, so when I do this, it'll fold back. It's hard to describe texture, but trust me, the texture is like you can see, it's not as sticky. You can over knead, and then your bagels will be a little too dense. And you know, Leo, I have to feed Newt good things because he doesn't like to eat, so I have to entice him to eat. Plus, you know, he can eat so many calories in a day. He's just, because he's tall and he works out, that you can just overfeed him and there's no problem. A normal person would have to give up, or they'd gain weight, but not Newt. All right, this is now approximately the right texture. You can see it's not sticking to my hands. It's nice and smooth. As smooth as a baby's bottom, I guess. I'm not smacking lots of baby's bottoms, but this dough smacks and it springs back, see? You can see. So I poke it and it springs back slowly. Spring back. There you go. Yeah. Well, Newt doesn't have a genetic issues. He just works out and is tall, so he can eat a lot of calories. Yeah, I mean, just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're healthy. You can definitely be unhealthy and skinny. But, yeah, alright, I am happy with this dough. I think it is nice and kneaded. You can see the nice texture. It stays in a ball. It's still sticky. So I am going to stick it in my bowl. And it's going to rest for around 10 minutes. I'm going to wash my hands, and then I'm going to fill up my pot with some boiling water. It is elasticy. So, now the bagel itself is really good on its own, with just some salt and some, butter. Can't go wrong. All right. So, this is my big old pot. So because these are Montreal bagels, this is where we go in a different direction from your typical New York bagels. So I am going to stick 12 cups of water in here. So I guess we're doing it 2 at a time. And the reason I'm actually, I'm not just filling it up. So 2. 4. 6. 8. 10. 12. So the reason I'm not just filling it up is because I want the ratio of honey to water to be accurate. So for every 6 cups, I put in a 1/4 cup of honey. So I'm going to put in 1/2 cup of honey. If you can't buy super cheap honey, you can just put in maple syrup. That'd be fine. Or sugar. It won't taste quite the same because you really want that honey flavor. This honey, it's probably the lowest quality you can buy, but it's cheap, easy to put in your water. Should have enough. Otherwise I do have my creamed honey, which actually, if you've never seen creamed honey, it's kind of cool. I guess I can finish off this bottle and then I'll show you some creamed honey, since I am running low on my cheapest honey money can buy. All right. So this is my Canadian creamed honey. For all the non-Canadians out there. It's white. It's kind of like this. It's kind of pure sugar. It actually tastes a little different to me. It's just like in the way it's processed. It's different. Doctoring Montreal style bagels. I should. Well, Newt can change it. Newt, change my title. He is a moderator. Yeah. Baking with the doctor. Doctoring the recipes. The baking doctor. I don't know how much I can lean into it. But there. So now it's part honey, part crystalled honey. Bagels look intimidating, but this is not a very difficult recipe at all, and I believe in all of you. You could all do this if you wanted. It's just water and flour and salt and yeast A little sugar. You could even skip the maple syrup. All right. So I'm going to try to get this into the water. Then I will put this on the stove to boil. I don't want to leave the honey on the bottom of the pot because I don't want the honey to burn because it's, you know, it's just sugar. Oh, hey, no dang gum. This looks like a bot. The doctor is operating in the kitchen. Thanks, Newt. This is my operating theater as a doctor. Marvel, Indy. My operating theater with lights and everything. All right, there we go. Honey is nice and in the water. So let's get that to boiling. Spring's back. Dough is fun. I like it. I like it, dough. You don't need the dough you practice. I do. Actually, I just got certified in CPR again. It was kind of annoying. I was like, the level 1 first aid people are not going to save you. I will tell you that. So, the next step, this is the step that makes bagels look hard. Basically, what we're going to do is turn this into bagels. Then we're going to boil the bagels in the pot for 45 seconds on, 45 seconds off. And then we will, thank you, Newt. Little doctoring Montreal style bagels. Then once they're boiled, you can roll them in whatever you want. So I'm gonna have to prep what I want. I think I am gonna do a rosemary and sea salt. I think that'll be really tasty. So I'll show you how to do that. So first, grab a little bowl. Second, see if your rosemary is still good. Meh, probably fine. Very important step. Don't forget it. Third, grab your Icelandic birch smoke salt that your awesome parents got you from Iceland. And this will add a lot of flavor. Whatever flavor you roll the bagels in is what they're going to pick up. I don't want it to be anything too strong because I want the honey of the Montreal to come through. But since I am going to have like 24 bagels, I will put a few teaspoons of this salt. That was Newt. He's got flipper feet. It's not his fault. Also, I left the living room a disaster, so. If you were feeling, you know, like you really like sushi, you could roll your bagels in something like this. You could roll your bagels in poppy seeds. Actually, that was the challenge. So, for the Great British Baking Show, their challenge was to make 12 poppy seed bagels and 12 sesame seed bagels. So you would just fill your bowl with poppy seeds or sesame seeds. I don't have any poppy seeds or sesame seeds. I do have some chia seeds. I could put on chia seeds, which would give it an interesting flavor. Oh, thanks, Dupes. I hope you have a good dinner, and I appreciate the lurk. Say hi to Mrs. Dupes for me. No chia seeds. Yes, chia seeds, they're kind of weird because when they get wet, they expand a lot and that's why people turn them into yogurt and stuff. I'm not sure that's what I want, though. So I'm waiting the 10 minutes while my bagels, and I'm prepping. That's while that happens. I guess I'll also turn on my oven. Let's see. It should be 425 degrees Fahrenheit. That should do it. Little hand. Oh, hey, Sayonica. How are you doing? How are you doing? I'm just making bagels. And then I will have to force Newt to eat the bagels. Alright, so this is my rosemary. It's very old. The easiest way to prep rosemary is just to take it and slide down it with your hands and just pull them all off like that. So now I've got a pile of the leaves. You could pull them off each individual stream, but like each individual leaf, but that takes forever. So instead of doing this, I'm slowly pulling off each leaf. Just grab it by the top, run your hand down, and pull them all. That's my trick. You miss some of them, but it's not like I need 100% of every leaf. Thank you. Yeah, so that's the bagel dough. I'm letting it rest while I prep everything. I'm going to try to make mini bagels. So the proper size for a mini bagel is this amount of dough would make 24. Which is a lot of bagels. I might do like a in between. Try for like 16 to 18. Alright, so I've got my rosemary. I'm going to chop it up. Just because I want kind of the flavors of the rosemary to come through, and I don't want each bagel bite to have like big old chunk of rosemary. I should probably buy some poppy seeds so I can make some traditional poppy seeds or sesame seed bagel. But I do like a rosemary sea salt. I think it's a quite tasty flavor. I like a salty bagel. I'll probably mix some regular salt in with that fancy sea salt so that I have enough for all of my bagels and I don't have to have some of them not quite covered. Alright. So, if I really wanted the flavor out of this old rosemary, I should probably boil it or heat it in water. But it's going to get baked, so it should be okay. So there we go. And I think I will put in a little bit of regular salt. Maybe some pink sea salt. So my nice salty bagels. All right. So this is how I'm going to separate out my bagels. Let's mix this up. This is what they will be dipped in as soon as they are boiled. You kind of have to pre-set up your area because you don't want to be panicking when your bagels are boiling. Alright. My pans. This is what they will go on once they are rolled. I have 2 sets of pans. Alright. Springs back, nice and elastic. Oh, sticks to the bowl. So that's your dough. You just pull it, it'll all come up if it's the right consistency. Cool. So we've got this. So I'm gonna try to turn this into 24 bagels. First, I'm gonna give it one knead because the top that was exposed to the air is a little bit drier, so I want to mix that in so that they're all gonna be about the same consistency. So you can see the texture has changed even more. It's very soft, nothing on my hands, not sticky. So let's see, 24 bagels. Let's split this in half. So I could weigh it, but that's very finicky. I'm not on the Great Canadian Bake Show. Around double. Alright, so with bagels, the dough is finicky and it only likes to stick to itself. Alright, so now I need, here we go. So now I have 1, 2, 12 from each ball. This might be difficult. See how small they get. Maybe I want in between bagels, not mini bagels. Which would be, so let's make, instead of 12 per, let's do 8 per. So they'll be slightly bigger because I like a slightly bigger bagel. Okay. So there we go. This will be 8 bagels here. And now, let's make 8 bagels from this. I could make one giant one. I don't know if it'll fit in my pot. One giant bagel. I don't think he'd ever eat it though. He'd probably just watch it go bad. Take like 2 bites out of it. They are mini. It's easier to get people at my work to eat them. Because for some reason they're concerned about eating 20 pounds of baked goods. I don't understand it. They claim it's not healthy. I don't know what they're talking about. There's the next one. How long can the bagel last? I could put it in epoxy. Epoxy giant bagel of doom. And if it lasts too long, people will be like, but I ate some of that. They'll get real disturbed. All right. Now I have 16 bagels. That should be enough. So I take it, and I am going to make it into a bagel. Montreal style has a really big hole in the middle because they all feel sad from the hole in their life that was France leaving. That, I assume that's why. So it doesn't, they won't normally stick together very well, the dough, so you kind of have to like roll it on your fingers, like convince it that this is what it wants. Will a giant epoxy bagel float? I mean, maybe. There's only one way to find out. I mean, I guess you could look up whether epoxy floats. Might be the shape. This is my first one. Bagel number 1. It's a little small. It will puff up a little bit when you boil it. And my water's almost boiling. My I have a gas stove and it's actually really slow. It takes a long time to get up to temperature. See if I can make this one slightly bigger because I had a little bit more dough. So it's super smooth, super easy to work with. Thanks, Uber. I think they will be tasty. Let's see. So see how it doesn't like to stick together. And if it's not stuck together well, it will come apart when you boil it, which is kind of annoying. Because you do all this work, you make beautiful bagels, and then you stick them in the oven and they just disconnect from each other. And the best thing about the bagels is the dough. Like, it's just stretchy and easy to work with. Doesn't stick to you. It's a very smooth, easy dough. Just gonna fold it around. Try to convince itself that this is what it wants. It wants to be a circle. It needs to be a circle. They're like giant Cheerios. I'm also not the best at making these worms, but I'm trying. Right now, I would be like the person on the Great British Bake Show who has no finesse. The judges would be like, "Your food, it looks so ugly." And then my food would just be very sad. Oh, getting very close to boiling, which is good. So for boiling, you want to go about 45 seconds, and then flip your bagel. The bagels float, luckily. This is a little big. This is a big bagel. It's more of a ring toss bagel. Obviously, I'm not going to get points for consistency here. Gonna get docked for that. That's okay. I think if you want to do this properly, you wouldn't just cut in half and then cut in half and then cut in half. You would actually weigh out each ball of dough to make sure each bagel is the same amount, and then you'd roll it to the correct length. So you wouldn't be worrying as much about size. They are supposed to rest for a few minutes. They will get a little harder. Oof. We're going. It is a very nice day here. Very pretty out. Very pretty out my window while I'm making bagels. Everyone else having a good day? Uber, you enjoy your spaghetti from yesterday. I hope you did. And I hope Jerkasette enjoyed it. I think these are a little bit better shape than the first time I made them. I think it's just practice. Getting it right. Oh, just starting to boil. Perfect timing. So you can see they're puffing up a little bit. What elevation does. I am approximately however height my condo is above sea level. I live at sea level. Here's
Hello,
Newt.
everyone.
Newt's hanging out. Well, you distracted me and I made a giant bagel. That's okay. The elevation would impact. If I ever moved somewhere that wasn't sea level, I would have to learn how to bake everything again. Actually, so the Great Canadian Bake Show is filmed in Ontario. So that is going to definitely be a higher elevation than here. Probably. Definitely probably. For sure. I'd even go so far as to say most certainly, definitely, probably could be. Only 5 left. I gotta give Newt a haircut. His hair is crazy. The main impact I think elevation has on baking is it changes the temperature things boil at, but it also changes like how much water to flour you need. So if you're following like a recipe from Colorado or something, you probably have to change the ratios a little bit. See how well these go. 3 left. 3 more bagels. Ah, my oven is almost there. Okay, so as soon as these last 2 are done, I'm gonna start my first boiling. I can fit like 4 in at a time. They do float. I don't know if I can move the camera. Actually, I can make Newt move it. Maybe he just wandered off. Can you move the camera for me? Actually, I don't know that I can because of the cords. I was going to show the pot, but I don't think I can actually. I don't think the cords are long enough. You guys are going to have to imagine what boiling bagels look like. When I do the last batch, I'll move it over so everyone can see.
Well, we can try. This one's going to not go.
Yes, that's the problem because that's connected to the computer. I know, tech support. Oh, my computer just broke at work.
Oh.
Very annoying. But tech support was there, which was good.
If we move your laptop forward, we can maybe move this over.
Okay.
Well, you have to get the bagels in first, so we can move the laptop.
Alright, so I'm going to start with the oldest ones. Let's see. Got this to pull them out. 45 seconds per side. I don't have a timer, so I'm going to guess. This pot is quite large. All right. They're going. They are going. And borrow Macot? Baron. Baroom Macot. Oh, thank you. Welcome to the stream. Yes, my phone would have a timer. You are correct. But also, do I really want to not be lazy? I don't know. Welcome to the channel, Bromacket. Oro. That is easier. That is a lot easier. So, I am making Montreal bagels. Alright, I gotta flip these. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And yes, I could totally set a timer. I'm just lazy. Lazy for very, very easy things. Like if it's difficult to do, I'm more likely to do it. But like a timer? I mean, what is this? A science? I don't know. Yeah, so Montreal bagels. The reason they're Montreal bagels is because they have a big hole in the middle. They're made with some maple syrup, and they are boiled in a pot of honey water. The honey water makes the outside a little bit sweet, and a little bit crispy. Okay. It actually smells quite nice. Flip. Flip. One. Beautiful. One bagel. These are a rosemary and sea salt. Yeah, you're welcome. I am happy to explain things. I am the baking doctor. Actually, no, my doctorate is not in baking. It'd be nice if it was. I feel like that would have been a really, really delicious grad program if my doctorate was in baking. But I did make lots of baked goods during my doctorate. Alright, 6 more. So at first they sink, then they start floating. $55. They will float up, and then I can flip them. So, I mean, they're cute. They're quite tasty. They're not going to puff up that much. I just like to space them out on the tray. One of them is trapped under the others. Here we go. And then I'll have 4 left for one more round. We all float down here. We all do all float down here. What is that a reference to? I remember. No. I'm not hip with the cultures. Got a Trekkie tea and a bagel baking, but I'm not very hip and with it. Oh, Stephen King's It. Oh, yes, I remember. Yes, we all float down here. Now I remember. Flip, 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 flip. I made one giant bagel, and the rest are normal. That's the giant bagel I was making when I got distracted. So, the boiling doesn't like cook them through. It does add a little bit. So they puff up a lot when they're being boiled. Ooh. Oh no, my big one fell apart. Actually, the honey water smells really good. So I'm flipping them, rolling them in the sea salt and the rosemary. Some are obviously going to be more coated than others. They will be tasty though, because even without the coating on them, they should be quite good. So my big bagel, oh, it fell apart. It's more of a big C. That's okay. All right, last 4 bagels. All right, these are going. Once those are done, I stick them all in the oven for 8 minutes, and then 8 minutes later I flip them. And then they are done. So I can make other things, or I can just eat bagels all day. I guess that's actually a pretty easy, quick recipe to make. It's not abnormally difficult or anything. I mean, it should only take about an hour. I mean, it's 59 minutes in. I'm just about to stick them in the oven. So if you weren't, taking breaks to explain things, if you were just focused on your bagel making, should be able to get them done in an hour. And I am streaming on my my little tiny Surface Pro laptop, so I know I've had a few slow frames, but hopefully it's been okay.
I'm gonna try to move the camera.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, move the laptop forward. And I'll move
All right,
the camera.
let's see if I can show you the last bagels.
Very
Very carefully. Let's not knock over the salt. Hey, it's me. Hey, the bagels. Okay, I'm gonna take them out. This is all I've been doing this whole time.
I'm gonna be the cameraman.
So just a boiling pot of honey water. So you can see they were floating. When I first threw them in, they weren't floating. All right.
Carefully move back, I guess.
And now we push it back. Okay. Look, professional setup here. I have the camera set on top of a cast iron pot with a stack of books. Very, very professional.
About there?
Yeah, that looks good. Very professional. Only the classiest. Cool. For my pop culture reference. Alright. Yeah, that's like the whole setup, right? Yeah, that's everything. What more could you need? Alright. Roll these around. Let's get all of the good sea salt. All of the goodness. I will set a timer for this. I'm actually very anti-timer. Like, even when I'm in the lab, I just pay attention to the time. But most people use timers.
Sorry, micro adjusting there.
Yeah. So, there we go. That is done. Alright. So after 8 minutes, I will flip them. So, yeah. Timer. No, that's my alarm clock. Let's not do alarm clock. 8-minute timer. Okay, so I'm gonna stick these in the middle of the oven. One slightly lower. And we start. All right, so in 8 minutes, I take it out, I flip them. I'm also gonna reverse the order, so the tray that's higher up is gonna go down lower, the one that's lower is gonna go higher up. And I will, once they're flipped, I'll have a few minutes. So let me just clean up slightly. Alright, so just gonna wait. I was thinking about making some other things. I have a bunch of bananas that are going bad, so I'm actually thinking about just making some banana bread. I could also make banana cake, which is delicious. But I have bananas. I had bought this brand new awesome pie plate. So I could totally make a really delicious deep dish apple pie. I like to make one with a cheddar cheese crust, which is kind of out there, but I actually think a cheddar cheese crust is excellent. Let me know if anyone wants anything else, any other things to bake along with. Otherwise, yeah, I just made some bagels, and they're delicious. Or they will be, I'm sure. They smell delicious. And that's what matters. This is my giant stack of recipes. It's a little shameful. They're all the things I was going to make, but forgot to make. I've got some technical bakes I printed off of the Great British and Great Italian Baking Show. Focaccia bread, Reese's peanut butter cups, brown butter chocolate chips. Those are actually really good. It's pretty thrilling stuff. My giant pile. So every time I make like a Thanksgiving dinner, I just sort of go over the top. And then all of my recipes end up here in a pile. I don't always follow the recipe exactly. A lot of times I will make changes and then I'll just kind of scribble on them. Because sometimes you get like a recipe online and it's just not good at all. So let's see. What did I want to do today? Here it is. This is what I was going to make. I love myself an apple cheddar crust pie. But, you know, I just like to bake sometimes and I go a little over the top. No, it's just like, it takes a few hours, but what else am I doing with my time? I don't have anything else going on. One of my favorite custards is from the banana cream pie. So you just make like a traditional custard and then you turn it into a pie and it is delicious. I also like apple pie. So I don't follow this recipe exactly when I make apple pie. I make the cheddar crust with, you know, lard and cheddar and deliciousness. And then I'll make the apple filling, but I make sure I put in my lemon juice. I usually add more lemon juice. And I will add, instead of tapioca starch, I add cornstarch. And I like to let my apples just soak for like hours to try to bring out the flavor. You can also put in a little bit. I can use Crisco as the fat, so I either use Crisco or lard. I rarely use butter for the pie dough recipes, just because Crisco is so much easier to just get the right consistency on your pie dough. But I do have like some recipes for rough puff pastry that I want to follow, but that takes very, very cold butter. And you can shred your butter. So this is really what I like to use. So I have Crisco, which is butter flavored Crisco. And then I have pure lard sandu. I don't speak French. Sandu? I don't know. Also, I love in Canada that this is no name brand. It's my favorite brand. Yeah, I think, well, regular Crisco is fine too. It just doesn't have the butter flavor, but it's fine. Lard I have not seen outside of Canada grocery stores, but sans nom, no name, it's the store brand. 1 minute and 22 seconds. All right, let's see. Oh, they're starting to look good. will put a thing here so I can flip them here. Regular Crisco is fine. Lard is a little over the top. I feel like if you're like, oh yes, I cook with lard, people will judge you. I don't know if it'll make a difference. That's something, like I could make a pie with a lard and a Crisco and see if there is a difference. It probably tastes different. I don't know. I don't know how much of a difference it would make. Be interesting to find out though. Can a regular person tell? Yeah. I like to buy the giant tub of Crisco. Crisco doesn't tend to go bad. You can leave it in your pantry forever. Alright. Hot. My C. Alright, flippy time. So they stick a little bit because of the honey water. So let's get these flipped and back in the oven. And flip these. Ooh, they're much nicer shape. Alright, I want these a pretty golden color. Alright, 8 more minutes and they'll be ready. See ya. You're also supposed to use very cold ingredients anytime you're making a pie crust. But I think I will make a apple pie today because it is delicious. You can't go wrong with an apple pie. But I'm just hanging out. This is just a typical Sunday. But it's Monday. It's a holiday. It is Family Day. Oh, Family Day here, President's Day in the US. So, whatever I make today, I can feed to people at work tomorrow. You can kind of use the measurement on here when you're cutting your lard. So, and the lard cups do have, they have their own recipe. So, just like a basic is 2 2/3 cups flour, a teaspoon salt, 1 cup lard, and a 1/3 cup of water. Whereas mine is 2.5 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 3/4 teaspoon salt, a 1/2 cup butter, so half as much, and then 1.5 cups of sharp cheddar cheese, and a 1/2 cup of water. So part of the lard in a normal recipe is getting replaced by cheddar cheese. Bagels! I'm so excited for my bagels. They look delicious. I don't tend to like apple pie that much, just because I don't like the texture overly much, but it's Newt's favorite pie. I like banana cream pie a lot. I like weird custards. I'm trying to work out making non-American style desserts. So that's why I've been watching the Great British Bake Show and the Canadian Bake Show and trying to make some of those trifles and different types of recipes. Just to learn more things this year. Learn all the new ones. Figure out what I'm doing. I think the biggest thing in baking is just experience. Knowing when a dough looks right, when it looks ready, when it doesn't look ready. You know, what to do if your dough is too thin or too thick. So, I understand why the Great British Bake Show and Great Canadian Bake Show, they want a portfolio of everything you've ever made and how, different styles you've done and what cooking styles you're used to, what you've never tried before. I think, one of the things I want to do is I want to do some choux pastry, make a croquembouche, the giant tower of cream puffs, make some eclairs, the crazy things. So I should probably actually do that rather than just make an apple pie. Make something fancy. Yeah. What do you think, Uber? Should I make an apple pie? Or should I make eclairs? I found a recipe for a Earl Grey eclair. And I put crotch and bouches in the window. That's one way to croquembouche. That's one way to spell it. They are pretty. They use so you make like 100 cream puffs with choux pastry, and then you use caramel to stick them in place and make a giant tower of just caramel and cream puffs. I don't know how I guess to eat them, you just kind of yank off a cream puff from the top. Eclairs do sound fun. Eclairs are eclectic, right? I don't know. I like eclairs. They are a thing. Plus I can turn my mashed banana into a banana cream eclair, right? Like, you can fill in the eclair with any custard you want. So a banana custard eclair actually sounds pretty good. I bought some fancy flavoring at a store, so I can do pistachio now. Pistachio flavoring. I can make a pistachio cream instead of vanilla. I actually have a maple as well, so I can make a maple cream. I just kind of wander away. I'm like, yeah, right? Banana custard. It is probably delicious. I always just start with a recipe and then I make my own changes. So I have a recipe for a classic eclair that I haven't made yet. And then you can take a recipe for like a vanilla pastry cream, but then you, instead of putting vanilla, you can put in any other flavor you want. So I could put in pistachio, or I could put in banana, mashed banana into a custard. Always delicious. You just gotta add it after making the custard because you don't want your banana to like overheat. And yeah, well, you're not that far, Uber. You could visit Western Canada. It's quite nice. It's nice here. We're all friendly. But yeah, I wanted to make chocolate eclairs, so I'm just gonna bake. I'm just gonna do what I normally do, and if you guys want to hang out while I'm making things, that's cool. And I made choux pastry before. Actually, I made some very traditional cream puffs. So, eclairs can't be that hard. Right? They can't be that hard. Let's see. Let's see if I can handle them. But bagels are coming out. Bagels are getting watched. Let's see how they are. My oven tends to run a little bit cold. So it doesn't always heat evenly. Yeah. They need a few more minutes. So I'm looking for the top to get kind of a golden brown. Otherwise I'll take it out and the center won't be poofy enough. So the easiest thing about this one is, all that's done, is making, I gotta make the pastry first, and then you make the eclairs, because pastry takes a while to cool down. So, just waiting. Silly oven. But, hey, I can get started on something while I'm waiting. The biggest mistake I think people do is not giving their oven enough time. And every time you open it, it loses heat. Which is not something you want. Alright. So I am going to make a patisserie cream. Creme patisserie. Which is going to be delicious. I mean, how could it not be, right? The problem I always find with these converted recipes is it calls for 480 mils of milk. I don't know if you know this. 480 is less than 500. But more than 450. I don't have, a thing that goes, like, who can measure out 480 mils? Like, I could do 175. That's close. So I could do like 175 and then 300. This is just British people being difficult. That's really what it is. Difficult British people. So custard is one of my favorite things to make. It is quite easy. But people think it's hard. So, I don't know why they think it's hard. But they do. Probably because if you do it wrong, because you're just reading instructions and you've never seen it before, it goes terribly wrong. Bagels, bake! I don't know, I thought I'd give them some encouragement. In case they forgot what they were doing, you know? Because you never know. Let's see. I can send this. I'm going to make a patisserie cream. Bagels aren't quite ready yet, even though they should be ready. My oven is a failure. I tell it that, but it doesn't seem to care. Okay, so if you're gonna make a pastry cream. You need 1 egg, and then you need 3 egg yolks. So the best thing about this is that to make a batch of macaroons, you need 3 egg whites. So every time you make a choux pastry or a patisserie cream, you get to make a set of macaroons because you get the extra egg whites. So if you save the egg whites, you can go ahead and make those the next day. So a lot of people make the macaroons and they fail, and one of the ways to prevent them from failing is to let your egg whites actually age. And you want them to be room temperature before you start trying to make stiff egg peaks out of your egg whites. So if you're going to be making a French macaroon, you either want to save your egg whites from making like a pastry cream or a brioche or something, and save your egg whites and then make the macaroons the next day, or you want to buy, I guess you could buy the store-bought egg whites that are pre-aged. If you want to think about that, just make sure you bring them up to room temperature before you try to bake with them, or you will not get as good of a peak as you would want. All right, I'm seeing some gold. Hot. Hot, hot, hot. Are you done? So you kind of want them to sound a little hollow. So these were on the ones closest to the bottom. I think they are pretty done. Maybe overdone on one side, underdone on the other side. That's typical with my oven. Let's see how the other ones are looking. You see they're a little pale on the top. There we go, that's the color I want. I like more of this golden color. So I think these ones, which were not as far in the oven, they're in the middle. I think I actually have to put them back in for a few minutes for the other side. Hey Leo. I'm seeing they're not quite done. Even though I left my oven for like an extra 5 minutes, they're not done. I have a very, very bad oven. Having a bad oven makes things more difficult, but you can still do it. So like, you know, it's a bagel. One rack is done, one rack's not. I made a mini bagel. Ouch. Does it surprise you that it's hot? It surprises me. Hot, hot, hot. It's a little doughy inside. Still good. My oven is not getting up to temperature. They do look good. They do. But why is my oven not at temperature yet? Like, it should be 425 degrees and this should take 16 minutes. Instead, you know, they're still a little bit soft inside, and it's been like 20 minutes. So that's kind of the annoying thing about baking is each oven is different, and you can't just follow the recipe blindly. Oh, hey Bruno. I'm eating a bagel. How's it going? How was your stream? Welcome in everybody. I am Dr. Lilhan. I am married to Newt, who I'm sure you guys have seen playing his games. I'm not much of a gamer, but I do like to make bagels and baked goods. So I've been making some Montreal bagels. I was telling them my difficulty with the oven. It's not exactly. Oh, hey, Jess. I've seen you around. Seen you around on Newt streams. My oven is not as hot as it should be. So even though I've gone like twice as much time as these bagels should take, they should be done, but they're not. But they still taste delicious. So I'm going to eat these. And I was gonna go and I was gonna make some patisserie cream and some chocolate eclairs, some chocolate banana eclairs. Didn't manage to beat Antubra world record or beat map 3 of Pogo, but that's fine. Yeah, not as hot as it should be. Well, I mean, better that's the name of your baking show than your husband's description of you. Alright, it tastes really good. So yeah, you'll get it next time. You'll get it next time. Well, while I'm waiting for my slow bagels to cook, I am gonna make a patisserie cream for you guys, a banana patisserie cream, and then I am going to make some chocolate eclairs, and I'm gonna fill those chocolate eclairs with banana patisserie cream, and it's gonna be delicious. And if anyone wants to hang out, or follow my streams, or check out, or just watch the VOD later, you're more than welcome. I just like to bake things. Too many things. Probably later on, Newt will start streaming his own game in the back, so you might hear some background play. Okay, I think they're actually done now, but they do taste delicious. It's a very easy recipe. I can show it to you one more time. I tweeted it out if anyone wants to check out my tweets. I handwrite everything. I'm not always the best, but it's the recipe I'm following. It's delicious. Montreal bagels, they're boiled in honey water. They are excellent. Easy to make. It should only take you an hour or less if you make them at home. I mean, I think if you were super fast, you could do it in 40 minutes. Hey, thanks for the follow, Bruno. And there we go. Now they're done. Okay. So this is what I was talking about, guys, when I said my recipe was not done yet. Thanks for the follow button, Mash. Now you can see that it is nice and golden. So, golden colored bagel. It is nice and done. It is covered in a sea salt and rosemary. It looks delicious. We can make Newt eat it. I recommend you guys. Sometimes you have issues like this. This bagel will still taste good. Plus you could give it to someone who has a name that starts in a C and claim you did it on purpose. So, my oven is slow, my oven is old, but I still managed to get some good bagels out here. I am happy with how they turned out. So this is my other batch. It's a little darker than I like, because I had it on the bottom of the oven. But I think it'll still taste good. Newt won't complain. He'll eat it. Oof. All right. That was a fun little warm. You want one, Newt? Come over and eat a bagel. Eat a bagel and answer questions. Hang out. You want one of these or one of those?
Hey, I'm a little tall for the camera.
Just shrink. He's too tall. It's a problem.
Okay. Are they like 4 million degrees?
No, they're 425 degrees.
Nice. I can eat that.
plate for the newt.
Okay, guys.
All right, this is the moment where we find out if they taste good or not.
Yeah, I'm the only judge,
The only judge.
but I'm sure they taste great.
Are you poking my bagel?
I'm just poking it to make sure, it's the correct.
Do you want to cut which way?
A
This way?
little bit of both, you know. I don't know. Yeah, let me see the layers here.
All right. Do we?
Oh, that's so much steam. Steam is just coming off of it. I'm gonna burn my mouth. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take. Okay, let me see.
I mean, it is a little hot.
It's a little hot, guys. I don't think you want me to burn my mouth
All right.
on this,
Actually,
right?
this is a good way to show them. All right. So I was telling you guys that my bagels weren't quite done when I first took them out. So look at the difference in the dough texture. So this is an undercooked bagel. So in the Great British Bake Show, he would go roll. It's dense. It doesn't quite spring back when you poke it.
Yeah, when you poke it, it makes a dent in the dough.
This is a cooked bagel. So see the difference in texture? That's what they are looking for.
Hey, button.
Hey, button. Coffee. Yeah, this one I think my light.
Yeah, the light is just
too bright.
so bright.
All right, let me dim my light a little.
Yeah, dim it.
There
That's
we
not
go.
bad. I can focus on it. That's cool.
That's a cooked bagel. That's a undercooked bagel. Oh, undercooked. So you can now judge. You can now judge people, and now I can stick this on party mode because yeah,
it's got like rainbow lights.
we baked something. So party mode. Brighter party mode. Okay.
Blob dance, exactly.
Blob dance. Party mode dance.
That's pretty much exactly what it is. Okay.
Yeah, try your bagel. Tell us if it's good.
Smells like a bagel. This is exactly what I expect a bagel to smell like.
Yes. Like a bread.
It's got nice like crispiness and stuff.
It's supposed to be squishy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd say it tastes like a bagel.
The sea salt and rosemary is very delicious. And and the inside's cooked really well, I assume. I guess I don't know if I would be able to tell the difference between like an undercooked one.
But I just showed you the difference. I just explained
You did, but like I don't know if I'd be able to taste the difference.
They are both squishy.
It's really tasty. It's really tasty.
So I like the Montreal bagels
I would say
better than New York, I think.
I would say it's a bagel. I agree. You know, it looks like a bagel.
Looks like a bagel, tastes like a bagel. I think the honey water really adds a lot of flavor. Yeah.
Yes, the honey water that I knew was in this.
Our dance party.
You can see it reflecting off
You
of
can
the.
see it.
That is crazy.
All the lights.
That's really cool, actually. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Actually. Carbs are carbs. We love the honey water that we knew was in. Yes. Newt has the best takes on food. He's like, oh yes, that's delicious. It tastes like whatever you tell me it tastes like.
It was subtle. I can't taste honey in it, but I'm sure it's there. I'm sure yeah, I don't know. I don't have the taste buds.
Right, eat just the top layer. The top layer should taste the most like honey.
Just the top.
Just
layer.
the top layer.
I'm gonna peel off the top layer.
So the Montreal bagels are boiled.
This is top
in
layer
honey
stuff.
water.
This is bottom layer stuff.
Yep.
How do you know it's top layer? You flip it.
I know, but see, I mean, this outer edge, that's a little
Yes.
crispy.
Yes, crispy.
That is boiled in honey water, so it should taste the most like honey. peeling a bagel. Well, the rest of his bagels we'll cut in half and we'll make it into egg sandwiches and avocado.
Actually, the top layer did taste like a little bit more.
Yeah, see?
I would say so.
You're just maximizing the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I just got this light. I'm having too much fun with it. I can make it yellow.
Peeling a bagel's insanity. Why?
He couldn't tell the flavor, you know? Look, Newt doesn't have the best taste buds. Oh, thanks for the follow, Tiger. Nice to have you here. Yeah, sea salt.
Thank you, Tiger. Appreciate that.
Veggie schmear. I do have a veggie schmear in the fridge right now.
Do we? Oh, yeah. No, we do.
I have a green onion one. Yeah. That would actually go quite well.
Welcome in, Tiger Gut.
Wow, hi from Norway. Just made Montreal bagels. They came out great. I think they're delicious. A success. I would suggest making them. I'm going to now, because I'm a crazy person, I'm just going to make some chocolate eclairs with banana cream patisseries. Because I like to bake things. I've finally set this up, so I had like so many recipes I wanted to make, and now I get to make them. So, hi from Norway. I'm in Western Canada, so quite a bit of time zone difference there. But nice to have you along. Nice to have you here. And if anyone wants to hang out, they are more than welcome. I tend to just bake things for no reason. Oh, it's midnight for you. Yeah, it is still light out here. I can still see the snow in the mountains. The back-to-back. Woo! Yeah, Bruno, I don't know, like, I only made an hour worth of bagels, and now it's, you know, what else am I going to do with my time? But maybe Noodle play something in the background so you could hear him just, like, hanging out. He's got his own little area set up back there. I don't want to, you know, interfere with him doing what he wants to do. So, let me set up my stove, set up my oven for some patisserie cream. Oh, it's 0 hour for Bruno as well. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you guys, for work, I work a lot with people in Germany, and setting up meetings where we can both hang out and have meetings during work hours is actually impossible. So we have to do, you know, either I get up early or they stay late, or I stay late and they get up early. Very, very special. Hey CRB, I'm about to make some patisserie cream.
Excuse me, Doctor. You wouldn't mind if I take a bagel?
Bagels! Oh, thanks for the follow, Jess. Here's my big old thing of bagels.
I'd like one for the road.
Have one for the road. Would you like the one that looks like a C?
Yeah, no, I'll take the I'll take the giant misshapen
This one, I got distracted when I was rolling it out.
Honestly, I'm sure it's just as delicious as all the other ones.
So, I always take all of my baking
Thank
leftovers to work on the day after. So,
Thank you.
if Newt likes a recipe, I will save some for him. But this is not actually me being. This is just what I do. I bake a lot. So, I am gonna make some eclairs. Anyone who wants to hang out is more than welcome. I am moving things. So the reason I'm moving things is a patisserie cream is made on the stovetop. So